We're gonna get this party started. We're gonna get this party started. We're gonna get this party started. It's a Bible reading party. We're gonna get this party started. We're gonna get this party started. We're gonna get this party started. It's a Bible reading party. A O A O A O A O. We're gonna get this party started. That's my second day in a row doing that, I think. That is my second day in a row. Wondering why my camera's not working and looking down and saying, oh, it's not plugged in. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday! First and foremost to my mama and my grandmama. Happy birthday, happy birthday! Now that the camera's on. Happy birthday to you, my mom and grandma. Hey! The time is now. I can never get this doggone clock pulled out right. The time is now. Oh, time is gone. Let's get some time back. Get the time back. Get the time back. Come on, come on. I plugged you in. What happened? Okay, there we go. The time is now 7:03 a.m. Sunday morning. It is July 26, 2020. July 26 is my mama's birthday and my grandma's birthday. So happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Yes. Now, here on Boulevard 40, we don't pop no bottles. I think that's what it's called. We don't pop bottles, but we do crack cans. And so in honor of my mother and grandmother's birthday, we're going to crack open this nice sparkling water can of La Croix. I'm not sponsored, but hey, La Croix, if you're looking for an ambassador, you know where to find me. So, yeah. Cheers. Cheers to you. Ah, refreshing, light, and lovely. Like my mom and grandma. There we go. So, yeah, on that note, yeah, the time is now 7:04 a.m. It is July 26, 2020. It's week 30. Week 30. This is the last day of week 30 for the Bible reading party. It's a Bible reading party. It's a birthday party. It's a Bible reading party. Let's read the Bible now. Yeah. Let's see what the word says for you on your special day. Let's see. This is my Bible, by the way, for anybody new here, watching on the replay, has never been here before, and you're like, what's going on? This is what's going on right here. This is my New Believer's Bible, compact version, New Living Testament. See that? I always say Testament. New Living Translation. This is my, where did my dictionary go? This is my Nelson's Compact Series Dictionary. Yeah. Very helpful for learning a little bit of history, background on what's going on with political stuff, geographical stuff, knowing different names and how to pronounce them. So this is pretty good. One of these days I'm going to get a concordance too. There's a concordance and there's something else like a lexicon. I'm going to add that to my library. But for now, this works just fine. I think this was like $6 or $7 at my local Bible store, but you can also get them online. Matter of fact, there's a link to both of these. There's a link to both of these in the description if you want to get your own. If you do get them, it'll look different because the link has a newer publication of this, and my other Quest Bible that I use from time to time, which I'm not going to pull out. Let me share with you the screen here so you can see where we're at today. Let me drink a little bit more of this La Croix. It tastes so good. Mineral water has a little bit of a getting used to, but if you drink it when it's fresh out of the refrigerator, ooh la la, c'est si bon. It is very refreshing. And that's that tangerine. Yummy, yummy. Okay, so if you look at your screen right now, you will see a gold-colored box. On the left side, it says read. On the right side, it says checkpoint, checkpoint, checkpoint. And if I'm not mistaken, I think we hit all the checkpoints already. I think yesterday we hit the last one, which was... I don't remember, but I feel like we read the last one yesterday. So yes, we have been reading through 2nd Chronicles. We've been reading through 1st and 2nd Thessalonians. from Thessalonica. I'm so happy I can say that word. It makes me just feel special. And yesterday we cracked open the book of Ezra 1 through 3, and today we are going to read 4 through 6. And let me do a quick review of the summary, which is what I read this at the start of the week, and sometimes I read it at the end of the week too. This is week 30. This is what week 30 has been all about. Return and rebuilding. Return and rebuilding. It says here, despite the reforms of Hezekiah, I like Hezekiah, he's a good guy, and Josiah was pretty good too. The hearts and practices of the people of Judah remained far from God. As the prophets had warned, destruction and exile resulted. But God remained faithful as he always had. Babylon fell to Persia in 539 BC, and Second Chronicles ends with a proclamation by King Cyrus of Persia, releasing the Jews to return home to rebuild the temple. Paul's letters to the church at Thessalonica in Greece encouraged the young congregation to stand firm despite opposition and persecution. Paul had started this church but had not been able to spend much time there. Paul delivers a lot of teaching on many topics in these short letters, including details about Jesus' second coming. The book of Ezra documents the return of the exiles to Judah, the rebuilding and dedication of the temple in 515 BC, and the reforms Ezra instituted when he arrived about 60 years later. Zerubbabel, yes, that's how you pronounce it. At least that's what my Bible dictionary tells me. Zerubbabel, the grandson of King Jehoiakim, led the first returning exiles back to Judah and began rebuilding the temple despite interference from people living in the land. And as we know from our reading, people in the land, I think that was the Samaritans. Yeah, that's what we read about yesterday, the Samaritans, who I did not know was kind of heathens. I thought the Good Samaritan was a good person. Maybe the story of the Good Samaritan means even though this person is not like a Christian, they're still a good person. So how much more should we be doing good? I don't know. Let me know what you think about that. Samaritans and the history of Samaritans and the Good Samaritan. Let me know in the chat or in the live chat or in the comments, in the comments if that occurs to you, if you want to look that up. So yes, that's where we're at here. We're at Ezra 4 and 6. And for anybody who would like to look at this book and maybe get it for themselves so they can start their own Bible reading journey, here it is. It is A Woman's Guide to Reading the Bible in a Year by Diane Storts. Speaking of reading the Bible in 1 year, hey, check out this website. It is The Bible in 1 Year, made by yours truly. The Bible in 1 year. That's not the home page. I don't know why it keeps going to the resource page. But this is The Bible in 1 year, developed and homegrown by yours truly here at Boulevard 40. Since I'm reading through the Bible in 1 year, I decided, hey, why don't I put together some resources so people who may be interested in reading the Bible on their own can, come here and find some ideas, motivation, inspiration, and some helpful links. So you don't have to read the Bible in a year. Matter of fact, I encourage you not to just read the Bible in a year, but to read it and keep reading it and keep reading it and keep going back to it. The Bible is not meant to be read in a year. It's meant to be read frequently, often, and throughout your lifetime. But it's a fun challenge. Read the Bible in a year. Get her done. So let's see. We got the homepage here. To get started, you want to maybe check out the resources page. There's that button there. Here's the mission. That's the reason why I made this page. Here's some questions that you might have. And let's see. Hey, that's me. So if you want to listen to someone reading the Bible, you can come here to Boulevard 40. I do have a blog. You can use this search box to check out the blog, or you can go up here at the top to see what weekly updates are happening on the blog. And I'll let you guys check out the website on your own so you can see what's there. And if you find something that's missing that should be there, let me know. Let me know so I can make it the best Bible in 1 year type of website there is. All right, let's bring it back. 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 See if my thing is working today. Is it working today? Yes, it's working. All right, let me get back to my live stream. Sometimes I try to push these buttons to, be like a professional, nice little transition, choo-choo-choo, and sometimes it don't go right. All right, let me see something real quick. I see who's in the chat. but I also see who's not in the chat. So I am going to take this opportunity to send them a message just in case they're not able to get in and they will be able to participate like so. Okay, I'm back. All right, so let's see. We got the Wiz who says morning, morning. Nicole says good morning, 40 fam. Bless the like button. Yes, yes. Warm your palms up and gently lay them on the like button, on the little button that goes like that. And yeah, on that note, let's get this party started in the book of Ezra. I thought this book was shorter than it is, but because I thought we were just gonna read through it in 2 days, but we're actually gonna finish it on Monday. I peeked ahead. I peeked. This is what happened yesterday, just in case you missed it. Chapter 1, King Cyrus, allows the exiles to return home. Let's see. Then we had, now remember previously in Second Chronicles, when Nebuchadnezzar came over, he went in and tore up the place. He tore up the temple. He looted everything. He just made a mess of things, knocked down the walls. And so when Cyrus allowed the people to go back, he also allowed the people to rebuild, and he gave back some of those things that were pilfered from the temple. And there's a list here of some things that were given back. See if I can get to my camera so I can see what I'm showing you. There was a list of things that were given back, gold and silver, incense burners, things like that. So that's what happened in chapter 1. And chapter 2, it was a list and a breakdown of the exiles who returned with Zerubbabel. And we went down by families and groups of people and citizens. And then there was a breakdown of the priests and the Levites who came back. And right toward the end of chapter 2, there was a little bit issue with people who could not prove their lineage. They could not prove where they were from. And so that group of priests were not able to participate of the normal sacrificial eating time, food time, dining privileges. I'll just call it dining privileges. Chapter 3, the altar is rebuilt. And the people, actually, they started to build the altar to make those sacrifices. All those ones they probably were not able to do when they were in exile. They started making their sacrifices to God before they even rebuilt the temple. The temple was built, but of course, all the old school, all them OGs, all the OGs who knew what the original temple was like, the one that Solomon built, the splendor, the glory, the magnificence. It was just like, oh, and they saw this new temple and they were like, oh, like that. And it even says in chapter 3, verse 12, many of the people, like the younger people, they were happy. They were like, yes, we finally were able to build the temple back. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Yay, yay, yay. And mixed in with that joy and joyful shouting, there was weeping from the older crowd that's like, man, it wasn't supposed to be like this. You know what I'm saying? It was wonderful. It was a great thing. I mean, I ain't trying to knock you down, young fella, but it used to be great. And they said it just like that. So now we start chapter 4. Jasmine Walker's in the house. Welcome. Grand Rising Kenya from Destiny. Well, hello. I'm like, hello. I was about to give you a gold star. Like, you're a new person. I am doing great. I'm like Tony the Tiger minus the sugar frosted flakes. Yes, welcome, welcome. And yeah, you came right in time because I just finished up the recap and what happened yesterday, which was in Ezra chapters 1, 2, and 3. And now I'm going to take a quick celebratory drink before I start because it's my mom's birthday and my grandmom's birthday. And I don't drink, so I cracked open a nice ice cold can of tangerine flavored mineral water from LaCroix. Again, this is not sponsored, but LaCroix, if you want to pay me some money to push your brand, you know where to find me. Ooh la la, c'est si bon. Yes, now that my whistle is wetted, let's jump in with chapter 4. And thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining the Bible reading party. It's literally a party because it's a birthday and it's the Bible. All right, chapter 4 starts now. Enemies oppose the rebuilding. Enemies oppose the rebuilding. The enemies of Judah and Benjamin heard the exiles were rebuilding a temple to the Lord, the God of Israel. So they approached Zerubbabel and the other leaders and said, "Let us build with you, for we worship your God just as you do. We have sacrificed to him ever since King Esarhaddon of Assyria brought us here." But Zerubbabel, Jeshua, and the other leaders of Israel replied, "You may have no part in this work. We alone will build the temple of the Lord, the God of Israel, just as Cyrus of Persia commanded us." See, I thought the issue was with the Samaritans. Let me make sure you guys can see me well. Oh yeah, no buffering today. I'm good. Because yesterday, hold on, yesterday. Let me make sure. Wasn't there like a 17-year hiatus with the Samaritans? I'm getting confused now. Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. Where did I read that about 17 years and the Samaritans? Well, in either case, we're talking about the tribes of Judah and Benjamin now. Talk about the tribes of Benjamin and Judah. I gotta go back and look. I gotta go back and look at my older videos and look in the description because in the description I put something about the Samaritans during that time. But anyhow, we are still in chapter 4, and it says here, Zerubbabel says to the tribe of Judah and Benjamin, "No, you cannot do this. We will do it alone. King Cyrus gave it to us." So chapter 4 and 4. Then the local residents tried to discourage and frighten the people of Judah to keep them from their work. They bribed agents to work against them and to frustrate their plans. This went on during the entire reign of King Cyrus of Persia and lasted until King Darius of Persia took the throne. And verse 6, we're talking about later opposition under Xerxes and Artaxerxes. Years later, when Xerxes began his reign, the enemies of Judah wrote a letter of accusation against the people of Judah and Jerusalem. Even later, during the reign of King Artaxerxes, you guys, my tongue is doing a backflip right now. All kind of gymnastics trying to say this name. Even later, during the reign of King Artaxerxes of Persia, the enemies of Judah, led by Bishlam, Mithridath, and Tabeel, sent a letter to Artaxerxes in the Aramaic language, and it was translated for the king. Rehum, the governor of Shimshai, the court secretary, wrote the letter. Rehum, the governor, and Shimshai, the court secretary, wrote the letter telling King Artaxerxes about the situation in Jerusalem. They greeted the king for all their colleagues, the judges and local leaders, the people of Tarpael, the Persians, the Babylonians, and the people of Erech and Susa, that is to say, Elam. They also sent greetings from the rest of the people whom the great and noble Ashurbanipal had deported and relocated in Samaria and throughout the neighboring lands of the province west of the Euphrates River. This is a copy of the letter. Before I even read that letter, I have got to see how to pronounce this name. Because if I'm going to keep having to say Artaxerxes, it's going to be an issue. Or, I know who Xerxes is. Like, if you ever watched the movie 300, that old Spartan, it's like a Spartan movie or whatever, Greek Roman movie. If you ever watch 300, you'll see Xerxes was that tall, dark guy with all the like gold and weird stuff in his face. Yeah, the really very handsome but intimidating looking like guy. That was Xerxes. So I do know who it is, but the Artaxerxes, man, I gotta figure this out. Here we go. It's in here. I'm going to show you real quick so you can see how difficult this name is to pronounce. I mean, good grief. You pronounce this word. Let me know. How do you pronounce that? And don't look at the part in the parentheses. Don't cheat. You see that, right? Artaxerxes. Artaxerxes. So that's who we're talking about here. Artaxerxes. Xerxes and Artaxerxes. That's the only reason why I know how to pronounce Xerxes, because of that movie 300. It was a good movie too. They say there's a story within the story, and it starts off one color. If you notice and pay attention, it starts off as gold and turns silver, or silver and then gold, and that's supposed to mean something. TUVWXYZ. WXYZ. Okay, there is no X in here, so I'm not finding it. Real quick, a king of Persia, we're talking about Artaxerxes right now, a king of Persia in whose court Ezra and Nehemiah were officials. Okay, so Ezra and Nehemiah are officials in the court of Artaxerxes. Known as Artaxerxes the First, Longamangus, long-handed, he temporarily halted the rebuilding program at Jerusalem that Cyrus, his predecessor, had encouraged, but later allowed it to continue. In the 7th year of his reign, he authorized the mission of Ezra to lead a large number of Israelites back from the captivity of Jerusalem. So that's all there is about Artaxerxes. I really just wanted to know how to pronounce the name. Let's see. Okay, so this is the letter. This is the letter that was written to Artaxerxes. To King Artaxerxes, from your loyal subjects in the province west of the Euphrates River, the king should know that the Jews who came here to Jerusalem from Babylon are rebuilding this rebellious and evil city. They have already laid the foundation and will soon finish its walls. And the king should know that if this city is rebuilt and its walls are completed, it will be much to your disadvantage, for the Jews will then refuse to pay their tribute, customs, and tolls to you. Since we are your loyal subjects and do not want to see the king dishonored in this way, we have sent the king this information. We suggest that a search be made in your ancestors' records, where you will discover what a rebellious city this has been in the past. In fact, it was destroyed because of its long and troublesome history of revolt against the kings and countries who controlled it. We declare to the king that if this city is rebuilt and its walls are completed, the province west of the Euphrates will be lost to you. Then King Artaxerxes sent this reply to Rehum the governor, Shimshai the court secretary, and their colleagues living in Samaria and throughout the province west of the Euphrates River. Greetings. The letter you sent has been translated and read to me. I ordered a search of the records and have found that Jerusalem has indeed been a hotbed of insurrection against many kings. In fact, rebellion and revolt are normal here. Powerful kings have ruled over Jerusalem and the entire province west of the Euphrates River, receiving tribute, customs, and tolls. Therefore, issue orders to have these men stop their work. That city must not be rebuilt except at my express command. Be diligent, and don't neglect this matter, for we must not permit the situation to harm the king's interest. When this letter from our King Artaxerxes was read to Rehum, Shimshai, and their colleagues, they hurried to Jerusalem. Then, with a show of strength, they forced the Jews to stop building. Ooh, that sounds like some old union versus non-union stuff going on there. Verse 24, it says the rebuilding resumes. So the work on the temple of God in Jerusalem had stopped, and it remained at a standstill until the 2nd year of the reign of King Darius of Persia. That is chapter 4, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. We see the wheel says, yes! Eva Frazier says, good morning, everyone. And Eva Frazier says, I hit the like button. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And happy birthday to you. And many more. Toast to the birthday ladies. Oh man, I got two of them over here. This one's from last night and it's warm. That's the one I just drank from. This is the cold one. I'm like, ooh, it don't taste so good anymore. That's the cold one. I drink a lot of those mineral waters. They're pretty yummy. Anyhow, yeah, let's get this party started. Let's get this party started. Let's get this party started. It's a Bible reading birthday party. Hey. Okay, chapter 5, you guys. Chapter 5. At that time, the prophets Haggai and Zechariah, son of Iddo, prophesied to the Jews in Judah and Jerusalem. They prophesied in the name of the God of Israel who was over them. Zerubbabel, son of Shealtiel, and Jeshua, son of Jehozadak, responded by starting again to rebuild the temple of God in Jerusalem. And the prophets of God were with them and helped them. But Tattenai, governor of the province west of the Euphrates River, and Shethar-bozenai and their colleagues soon arrived in Jerusalem and asked, "Who gave you permission to rebuild this temple and restore this structure?" They also asked for the names of all the men working on the temple, but because their God was watching over them, the leaders of the Jews were not prevented from building until a report was sent to Darius and he returned his decision. In verse 6, Tattenai's letter to King Darius. This is a copy of the letter that Tattenai, the governor, Shethar-bozenai, and the other officials of the province west of the Euphrates River sent to King Darius. To King Darius, greetings. The king should know that we went to the construction site of the temple of the great God in the province of Judah. It is being rebuilt with specially prepared stones, and timber is being laid in its walls. The work is going forward with great energy and success. We asked the leaders who gave you permission to rebuild this temple and restore the structure, and we demanded their names so that we could tell you who the leaders were. This was their answer. We are the servants of the God of heaven and earth, and we are rebuilding the temple that was built here many years ago by a great king of Israel. But because our ancestors angered the God of heaven, he abandoned them to King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon, who destroyed this temple and exiled the people to Babylonia. However, King Cyrus of Babylon, during the first year of his reign, issued a decree that the temple of God should be rebuilt. King Cyrus returned the gold and silver cups that Nebuchadnezzar had taken from the temple of God in Jerusalem and had placed in the temple of Babylon. These cups were taken from that temple and presented to a man named Sheshbazzar, whom King Cyrus appointed as governor of Judah. The king instructed him to return the cups to their place in Jerusalem and to rebuild the temple of God there on its original site. So this Sheshbazzar came and laid the foundations of the temple of God in Jerusalem. The people have been working on it ever since, though it is not yet completed. Therefore, if it pleases the king, we request that a search be made in the royal archives of Babylon to discover whether King Cyrus ever issued a decree to rebuild God's temple in Jerusalem, and then let the king send us his decision in this matter. I like that. I like that. See, that's why you got to leave a paper trail. Just like these other people said, hey, go check the records. You'll see these people are nothing but trouble. The Israelites were like, go check the records. You'll see we have permission to do this. We have a right to be here and a right to do what we're doing. So anyhow, that's chapter 5. That is chapter 5. And it's chapter 5. Let's see. Today's my birthday. Happy birthday, Eva Frazier. That's from Jasmine Walker by way of Destiny Walks Forever. Hey, I get it now. Walker, walk forever. I think I get it. Maybe. Cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the final chapter of today, I believe. Let me check my screen. Did I update it? Yes. Ezra 4, 5, and 6 is today. So let's finish this chapter 6 up starting right now. Thank you, Jasmine Walker. Darius approves the rebuilding. Oh, you don't say. He must have checked them records, huh? So, King Darius issued orders that a search be made in the Babylonian archives. And that's why I say, keep them receipts. Keep them receipts. Let me stop. He checked the archives, which were stored in the treasury. But it was at the fortress at Ecbatana, in the province of Media that a scroll was found. This is what it said. Memorandum. I like that it actually says memo. Memorandum. In the first year of King Cyrus's reign, a decree was sent out concerning the temple of God at Jerusalem. Let the temple be rebuilt on the site where Jews used to offer their sacrifices, using the original foundations. Its height will be 90 feet, and its width will be 90 feet. Every 3 years, every 3 layers of specially prepared stones will be topped by a layer of timber. All expenses will be paid by the royal treasury. Furthermore, the gold and silver cups which were taken to Babylon by Nebuchadnezzar from the temple of God in Jerusalem must be returned to Jerusalem and put back where they belong. Let them be taken back to the temple of God. That was the memorandum. Did they get the memo? Let's find out. Verse 6, it says, So King Darius sent this message. Now, therefore, Tattenai, governor of the province west of Euphrates River, and Shethar-bozenai, and your colleagues and other officials west of the Euphrates River, stay away from there. Do not disturb the construction of the temple of God. Let it be rebuilt on its original site, and do not hinder the governor of Judah and the elders of the Jews in their work. Moreover, he said moreover, I hereby decree that you are to help these elders of the Jews as they rebuild this temple of God. You must pay the full construction cost without delay from my taxes collected in the province west of the Euphrates River, so that the work will not be interrupted. Verse 9 says, Give the priests in Jerusalem whatever is needed in the way of young bulls, rams, and male lambs for the burnt offerings presented to the God of heaven. And without fail, provide them with as much wheat, salt, wine, and olive oil as they need each day. Then they will be able to offer acceptable sacrifices to the God of heaven and pray for the welfare of the king and his sons. Oh, I see how that happened. I see that. I see what's going on. Okay. Verse 11, those who violate this decree in any way will have a beam pulled from their house. Then they will be tied to it and flogged, and their house will be reduced to a pile of rubble. May the God who has chosen the city of Jerusalem as the place to honor his name destroy any king or nation that violates this command and destroys this temple. I, Darius, have issued this decree. Let it be obeyed with all diligence. He said it just like that. Verse 13 is talking about the temple's dedication. Tattenai, governor of the province west of the Euphrates River, and Shethar-bozenai and their colleagues complied at once with the command of King Darius. So the Jewish elders continued their work, and they were greatly encouraged by the preaching of the prophets Haggai and Zechariah, son of Iddo. The temple was finally finished, as had been commanded by the God of Israel and decreed by Cyrus, Darius, and Artaxerxes. I forgot already. The kings of Persia. The temple was completed on March 12th. Wow, that's very specific. During the 6th year of King Darius's reign. That is very specific. I'm reading here in the postscript, because there's a little star next to March 12th. It says, in the Aramaic language, it says here, on the 3rd day of the month Adar, of the ancient Hebrew lunar calendar, a number of events in Ezra can be cross-checked with dates in surviving Persian records and related accurately to our modern calendar. And according to those that cross-referencing, this day was March 12th, 515 BC. Good grief. That is some excellent, excellent research and documentation. Okay, we're almost done with chapter 6 here. This is verse 16. The temple of God was then dedicated with great joy by the people of Israel, the priests, the Levites, and the rest of the people who had returned from exile. During the dedication ceremony for the temple of God, 100 young bulls, 200 rams, and 400 male lambs were sacrificed, and 12 male goats were presented as a sin offering for the 12 tribes of Israel. Then the priests and Levites were divided into their various divisions to serve at the temple of God in Jerusalem as prescribed in the book of Moses. Verse 19, the celebration of Passover. On April 21st, the returned exiles celebrated Passover. The priests and the Levites had purified themselves and were ceremonially clean. So they slaughtered the Passover lamb for all the returned exiles, for their fellow priests, and for themselves. The Passover meal was eaten by the people of Israel who had returned from exile, and by the others in the land who had turned from their immoral customs to worship the Lord, the God of Israel. Then they celebrated. Good times, come on. They celebrated the festival of unleavened bread for 7 days. There was great joy throughout the land because the Lord had caused the king of Assyria to be favorable to them, so that he helped them rebuild the temple of God, the God of Israel. That's it. That is chapters 4, 5, and 6, ladies and gentlemen. They celebrated their Passover. We got people celebrating their birthday. It's the last day of the week. Hey, it's a great day. It's a great day in the neighborhood. We learned a little bit about Artaxerxes. And yeah, that's it. I could probably dig a little deeper into the dictionary today about who's that, Cyrus and Darius and Artaxerxes. It seems like somebody else. But I'm gonna let this be a short one because because of the wonderful things he does. Yes, the only thing I'm going to say is I do encourage you guys to, as often as possible, or whenever needed, check out that website, The Bible in 1 Year, The Bible in 1 Year, not The Bible in 1 Year. Let me see, O-N-E. Trying to see if I can remember my sign language. O-N-E. Yeah, The Bible in 1 Year, spelled out. That's actually another website. It's actually a web page, and it's a single page with somebody giving out a reading schedule. It's pretty cool. Actually, I linked to them and shared their information so that if you want a Bible reading plan, you can go to The Bible in 1 Year, O-N-E, and you can see that one page. That's all it is. It's one page. But if you want to see my page, go to The Bible in 1 Year. See? There's a difference. 1 and 1. That's why reading is important, and that's why details are important, because every last detail counts. The point is, if you want to read the Bible in 1 year, go to check out that resource page, and if you find something there that you think would be helpful, let me know. I will incorporate it whenever I get a chance to. And on that note, I hope you've warmed up those palms to bless the like button, because I'm about to warm up my palms and bless you, and warm up these palms and bless myself, because we are all blessed. And I'm going to just bless this outro with a nice little outro prayer that goes a little like this. Dear Lord, thank you for the day. This is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice, 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 and be glad in it. Yes, amen. Lord, the only prayer request that I have for today is that those listening today or tomorrow or whenever they hear this Bible reading, I pray that they are motivated to read the Bible on their own. So they can come to their own understanding and build up their own faith and build a relationship with you and find their purpose through you and live that purpose and live their best life. That is my prayer. Amen. So, not this week, not last week, but a couple weeks ago, I was listening to I guess he's my pastor now. I don't know. How do you do that when you go to church online? Like, is it your pastor if you go to church and you become a member of the church, or what? Anyways, my favorite online pastor, Pastor Marcel Jonte Gatson, he's actually a pastor in Japan. He's not Japanese, but he does have a Japanese wife and Japanese family there. And I love his bilingual. I'm not fluent in Japanese yet, but I love his bilingual sermon. And I think a couple weeks ago, he was talking about, like, what does it even mean to be a Christian? What does that mean? And it's like, it has nothing to do with religion. It has to do with relationships. God and you and me and you It's all about relationships, building relationships. How do we connect with each other? How do we help each other? How do we live with each other? How do we communicate with each other? And yeah, how we relate. So um, work on that. That's why I always say that in the prayer is I pray that when you're reading the Bible, it helps you to work on your relationship with God. It's not just a one-way street, one way or another. It's both ways. Relationship. You gotta work on it. Gotta work that relationship. Build it up. Let it be strong. So yeah, that's my prayer and request for you. And on that note, have a great day. Have a great birthday. Have a great Sunday. I don't think it's Monday yet. I'm thinking about my people in other time zones because I know we're behind Japan. But have a great day, rest of the day. Have a great week. This is the end of week 30, reading the Bible every single day. Hey! Tomorrow starts week 31. I hope you can make it. If so, bring a friend and we're going to have a good time. Yeah. Let me make sure because sometimes I do not read these until after the fact. By the way, by the way of Destiny Forever Walks, you got it. Yeah, that's what I thought. Destiny Forever Walks. Yeah, I got it. Justin Walker, I got it. It's kind of like 40. You'll be surprised if you look at YouTube how many different 40s there are that may or may not be related to me.